He is, on paper, the richest human being who has ever lived. And on the one list built specifically to count Africa's richest people, his name does not appear. Not because he isn't from here. He was born here, in Pretoria, South Africa, in 1971. He's worth more, by himself, than every billionaire on Africa's own rich list put together. And the continent still can't claim him. This is a story about a rule, a rock, and a rift. And about a man who invokes his birthplace exactly when it's useful to him, and has kept his distance from it ever since. This is the African Empire Files. File number 3. Elon Musk. Elon Reeve Musk was born on the 28th of June, 1971, in Pretoria, into a household that, on the surface, had every advantage. His father, Errol, was an engineer and property developer who'd go on to sit on the Pretoria City Council. His mother, May, was a model and dietitian, Canadian by birth. Her own father had moved the family from Canada to South Africa in 1950, a documented supporter of the apartheid system he'd chosen to live under. It's not a detail this story dwells on, but it's worth naming once, plainly. Musk's childhood happened inside one of the most rigidly segregated societies on Earth, in a home wealthy and white enough to be mostly insulated from what that segregation cost everyone else. That insulation is part of the story too. Not because he chose it, because at 7 or 8 years old, nobody chooses the walls they grow up behind. His parents divorced when he was 8 or 9. Musk went to live primarily with his father, a decision, he has said since, that he came to regret. School didn't offer much shelter either. Musk was bullied badly enough, by multiple accounts, that, at around 12 years old, a group of older boys threw him down a flight of concrete stairs and beat him unconscious. He needed hospital treatment to recover. Of his father, and of those years generally, Musk has put it plainly. It would certainly be accurate to say, I did not have a good childhood. Errol Musk has disputed parts of how that period gets told. What both men agree on is that it wasn't easy. The disagreement is only ever about exactly why. In 1986, something happened involving emeralds, Zambia, and a light aircraft. Beyond that, nobody agrees on the details, least of all the two men at the center of it. Errol Musk's own account is that he traded a plane for a stake in the output of informal emerald workings near Lake Tanganyika, dealing, by his own description to biographer Walter Isaacson, in stolen parcels, selling stones to jewelers on trips abroad. It was a cloak and dagger thing, he said, because none of it was legal. There was never a registered company. The operation, he says, collapsed within a few years. That's the modest version. Over the years, Errol's telling has grown considerably larger. In 2018, he described a windfall so large, Lee floored, we couldn't even close our safe. By 2023, he was telling reporters the emerald money paid for Elon's move to America and his university years. Elon knows it's true. All the kids know about it. By 25, in his telling, it had funded his son's entire career, according to Errol Musk. Elon Musk tells a very different story. Musk has flatly denied his father ever owned an emerald mine. In 2023, he put a number on his skepticism, publicly. I will pay $1 million Dogecoin for proof of this mine's existence. He has called the story, more than once, simply annoying. No independent biographer, not Isaacson, not his earlier biographer, Ashley Vance, has ever found paperwork, bank records, or family corroboration proving emerald money reached Musk's ventures. What Isaacson did find: Musk's mother living in rent-controlled housing after the divorce, not the picture of a family sitting on hidden mining wealth. The most honest way to tell this story may be the simplest: a father and a son who cannot agree on where the son's fortune began. Take from that what you will. In 1989, at 17, Musk left South Africa alone, using a Canadian passport inherited through his mother rather than wait for a South African one. He landed in Montreal that June with, by his own account, very little. He worked odd jobs in Saskatchewan, shoveling grain, cleaning out the boiler room of a lumber mill. Musk has said, more than once, that part of his reason for leaving was to avoid South Africa's compulsory military service under apartheid. Service he has said he didn't want to give toward, in his words, suppressing black people. Independent fact-checkers have confirmed this is something he has genuinely and repeatedly said. Errol Musk disputes that it was the real reason, arguing his son's departure was driven more by ambition and by the belief that South Africa's future looked bleak than by conscription itself. Both motives most likely were true at once. From Saskatchewan, he made his way to Queen's University in Ontario, then transferred south to the University of Pennsylvania. The African chapter of his life, Pretoria, the emeralds, the stairs, the walls, was, from that point on, a closed file. He would not physically return for decades, if he ever has at all. What came after is, at this point, a story most of the world already knows in outline. Zip. Zip. 2. Zip PayPal. Then Tesla and SpaceX, built more or less at once, against odds most serious investors at the time thought were close to zero. In June 2026, when SpaceX listed on the Nasdaq, Elon Musk became, by Forbes' count, the first trillionaire in human history. A peak north of $1.3 trillion, before a summer pullback brought him back down to merely hundreds of billions. None of that is really an African story anymore. It's the reason, though, that what happens next is worth pausing on. Every year, Forbes Africa publishes a ranking of the continent's richest people. Elon Musk has never once appeared on it. The reason has nothing to do with Africa disowning him, and everything to do with a rule. Forbes Africa ranks by citizenship and primary residence, not birthplace. Musk lives in Texas, holds American citizenship alongside his South African and Canadian ones, and runs his companies from the United States, so by Forbes' own methodology, he simply doesn't qualify. He's not alone in that exclusion, either. South African-born billionaires like Ivan Glasenberg and Clive Calder and Sudanese-born Mo Ibrahim are left off the same list for the same reason. It isn't personal, it's a residency test, applied consistently. It just happens to produce a striking number. Every billionaire the continent's own rich list does count. 23 names, from Dangote to Rabiu to Rupert, is worth, combined, $126.7 billion. Musk alone, by himself, is worth close to 7 times that. A rule kept him off the list. Arithmetic is what makes that rule feel strange, and yet inside South Africa itself, Musk barely registers as a local story. Journalists who've covered him there describe a public that treats his more dramatic claims, the childhood mythology, the Emerald Saga, with something closer to a shrug than pride. South African fact-checkers have gone as far as directly disputing details in his most famous biography. No evidence, for instance, that he ever attended the anti-apartheid concerts one book describes him at. Gathering South Africa's press and gathering laws at the time made genuinely unlikely. Where he does surface lately is friction. Starlink still has no license to operate in South Africa, officially, because the company won't meet a law requiring 30% local black ownership for individual license holders, a rule left over from the country's post-apartheid economic reforms. Musk's own explanation, posted publicly: South Africa won't allow Starlink to be licensed, even though I was born there, simply because I am not black. South Africa's government disputes that framing entirely, saying Starlink has never actually submitted the paperwork the law requires. Neither side has fully backed down. There's no record of him ever going back, not once in 37 years, for so much as a visit. His own fortune, reporters have noted, could double the size of the entire South African economy if he chose to bring it home. He hasn't. He was born here. He left at 17 and has never verifiably returned. He invokes the birthplace when it serves an argument and forgets it the rest of the time. Africa's own rich list has a rule that leaves him off it. And on the numbers alone, that rule is the only thing standing between him and the top of it. Which is, maybe, the most honest way to put it. This isn't a file about what Africa lost. It's a file about what it was never allowed to keep. At the African Empire Files, this file stays open.